What up, what up, what up? Good morning. It is Wednesday the 26th, I believe. Yesterday I did not do a Pionex bot challenge update. For those who may have not seen the other videos, on the 20th I started a little challenge just to kind of see and get some familiarity with Pionex and their bots that they offer, as well as kind of show some people how I go through the trading strategy and my personal kind of strategy to see if they could get familiar and maybe have some luck of their own, at least some confidence in being able to trade on their own. So what I did is I gave the AI bot $100. The AI bot came up with a 56 grid trading strategy. More grids means that in each grid spread, the orders are going to be smaller. So profits will be smaller, but more frequent stacking and hopefully accumulating along the way. To be a little bit different and kind of see the other side of the spectrum, I didn't want to do something small like 5 or 10. I felt like doing about half or so, a third or so. So I chose 22. No real science to it. 22 is my baseball number, and I just ran with it. And then I also gave myself $100 to trade manually, where I enter my sell prices and my buy prices on each order and execute them myself. So the $100 on the AI strategy is up 3.72%. Again, when you're using more grids, you're going to need a more consistent price action to be more profitable. Especially on a steady uptrend, this will be a very successful strategy. More grids capturing all those moves. Since I started this in this last towards the second half of this month, TXC has been in kind of an inflection zone, discovering its price and support zones and resistance zones. So the moves have kind of been a little bit bouncy, which is where the less bots has been more successful between the two. I wanted to kind of jump in on another one and just see what the larger liquidity, with the more consistent action, what the bots could do. So I threw in on Solana. I threw in some money that I've been putting in consistently, gradually, and I threw it on a bot strategy. I did 44 grids, double the 22 that I chose. I timed it awful yesterday. I caught in right at the pivot where Solana kind of tailed off and lost its momentum. So that one's down and is probably going to be a little bit of a dud. But I'll give it a couple of days and see if that comes back, just for science and just trying to kind of see. But with TXC's kind of movement of bouncing off these zones and some larger moves, kind of as liquidity is infused in, as it appears right now, less grids kind of seems to be the right balance. Now, in the manual trading side, I've only done one trade, so very boring. So even though I didn't share anything yesterday, and I did that TXC versus dividend comparison, showing the kind of passive investing side of things where you don't have to actively trade in the market. Trading and day trading sometimes can be a little bit overwhelming or a little bit discouraging. That's why these bots are very nice, because they'll do the work for you. But if you just want to invest and you're like, you know what, I don't need to buy at 330 and sell at 380 and buy at 350, and I don't want to do all that. I don't want a bot that I'm having to depend on doing it. I'm just investing in TXC. That video over there is TXC versus divvies. I think you would like that one. It shows the potential as TXC really builds up its liquidity and its market cap, and it gets utilized and growth really accelerates. You're going to see some big gains that way. So while trading TXC is a great opportunity to learn, because worst case scenario, you just have to hold, which is kind of what I'm doing with mine. Is I bought at 330, sold it, a big chunk of it at 385. I think I had to sell a little bit to close off that order at 380. And then I bought back in at like 375 or 374, which accumulated me an extra half of a TXC. So that's kind of the cool part about when you're trading, is when you sell for profit and then you let it come back a little bit in price, it's not that you've lost conviction and you don't think, and you're like, oh no, it's done, it's going down. That's not the reason for it. You're just utilizing the price action of going back and forth and up and down in these pullbacks in order to get a better position. So when you sell at the top end of the resistance and then you buy back in at the support, you accumulate more TXC or more coins along the way of whatever you're trading. So I did the one trade. I got an extra half TXC. I'm looking for the test of that $4 range. It might blow right by it. I honestly kind of, the more that I'm waiting, going through, as I'm watching, I'm sitting here thinking like I might want to pull that order because the price is getting very tight in this 335, 345 to 385 channel. And I think the breakout will be past 4. So starting to kind of think about I might want to pull this and wait for a bigger move. I've already kind of sat on it this long. I'm going to have to kind of watch this in the next couple days. I was expecting a little bit more action yesterday, and that's partly why I was going to wait to do the video, but then it never kind of came. We were very sideways. And I think there's a lot of an anticipation. It's the last Tuesday of the month. People were hoping for some type of talk of the nudge, or if there was going to be and what's going on, is the price going to jump up? And anytime there's that anticipation or that drawback, people don't put in their buy orders and the volume kind of stalls out. What is kind of cool though is we got this little run up off this when we kind of dropped below this trend line. We hit this one as support and we pop back up. And if we look at that on our 24-hour volume, we're up to 410. This has been averaging in between 330 and 380. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, let's delete that. I didn't want to delete that. Come back here. Why did we do that? I deleted the wrong thing. I wanted to delete the line, not the volume. So volume is back. What we are looking at on these last couple days, we had 410 in this one, 318, 277, 271, 371, 412. That was a liquidity injection day. This was a liquidity injection day at 637, back to 277. So we've been kind of with a couple spikes over 300 and a couple below. You could probably say that the last 10 days or so has been around $300,000 of volume, which has been kind of our 75 to 85,000 coins a day being traded. If we come down here on the 24-hour volume, what looks to be a spike up was Jew.com. This one has been on the bottom, trading just a couple $100 for most of it. XT hasn't came quite alive yet. And Pionex is still lagging behind. Bitmart has established itself as the top exchange right now. MEXC has been building pretty steadily, which is nice. And Jews got up here to about that 10-15,000, which is where this raise kind of came from. So it looks like the market maker bot over there is getting active. That'll be nice. So here's our little kind of long-term diagram, all the charts and stuff, different color lines. I'm using this one as red as my downtrend line. This orange is the uptrend channel. Yellow are the October price goal, and then yellow is November's price goal, which you can see we've got multiple touches around, and these are consolidation zones, multiple touches around, and we're building at this one, trying to rebuild the support. The reason we saw this big pullback was because we were stair-stepping up very nicely. Run up, consolidate, build support, run up, and then we didn't do it here. This price zone of 360 to 380 didn't get to build the support because there was a FOMO explosion, huge run-up, which came down, found its support based on algorithms and people buying and getting excited because they saw this potential. So there was some buying going on here, and as soon as that kind of dried up, we went into the profit-taking phase, and it came back down into the price that people were gonna start building some support, and we got an early nudge at the end of October, looking for the November price just to test um, see if the market would support it. Mostly testing to see how much of this was established as support, or if it was going to be selling pressure. What it did trigger is the liquidity spread, and we got some of the whale wallets to distribute their coins into longer term holders. So as much as we want to sit here and say it's a bummer that the price is down, it's half of what it was. We wish that we were 715. This was an unsustainable price zone yet, because we still need these holders and people who have the most conviction in the coin to be buying. So the people who bought back in the beginning of this year for less than $1, less than $2, and then took their profits at 5 or making their 500%, we want the people who are buying in the 3 and 4s to be holding for 500% as well, which is that $15 to $16 price zone. So we are getting this uptrend build out, and that's great. We're holding our long-term trend. More volume picking up. It will be really nice to see this 24-hour volume get some consistency over 500K a day. That would really catch the eye of some of these bigger traders, and that's something to be optimistic and looking forward to. On the Zoom call, Bobby did talk about how we are looking at seeing more of these market makers on these exchanges. All the exchanges have market makers on them and bots that are active. These are to maintain price action and consistency across all of the markets. Because if you ever get one that has a big gap, like right now DEX trades 362 and everybody else is in the 350s, there's going to be bot action, which will go and buy on these exchanges and sell on that one, and it's called arbitrage. And what that will ultimately do is balance out the price. So you have some price consistency between all exchanges, because you don't want to see people misusing that arbitrage price action. So that's why all of the exchanges have bots and have market makers built in, and you have to kind of provide liquidity so that they can balance that, because you want to have an established market on all of them. If you're listed on them, you want to have real action. You don't want people to manipulate the market because there's no price on there. So it's nice to see Jew's got its liquidity rolling. We'll probably see Pi Next coming on and XT coming on within the next couple days by the sounds of things. And so that's going to probably bump up this 24-hour volume up into that $400,000 to $450,000 a day average, which is phenomenal. We see this increase of 46%. That is going to catch the eye of outside investors who will come in with outside liquidity and provide support into the price. And we're seeing this pickup and looking for a good move. Curious if we could get my order to sell, and I would love to make a transaction on video for you guys. I might, if I turn this off, I might pick up and bring it on again and do another midday update. You can see that these guys kicked up. The jump on the AI bot was a little bit bigger than the jump on my custom bot, but these guys are going to benefit from the gain quicker than my manual position. I think I'm holding around 11 or 12% profit, so I wouldn't be surprised if those bots end up passing me along the way, because where we're sitting at 366 right now, they're going to make profit along the way, all the way up to 4, and I'm waiting for 4. I don't want to overtrade and get caught being out of position while it's running. So that's why I'm trading less. Avoid over trading. Keep it simple. Capture the profit and pivot points. Let the bots do the frequency action with the algorithms and pattern, and then because they won't miss it where I could if I got up and walked away, kind of thing. So still in a very positive direction. Nice seeing the exchanges get a better balance of volume. Nice to see the volume increasing. Over $400,000 in 24-hour volume is great. This can continue building, would be exceptional. Would love to see another $1 million day by end of the month, which would push some pretty push a pretty big move up. These are $1 million days. These were the liquidity injections that Bobby tried on the nudge. I would rather see some smaller nudges and get a little bit more consistency, because for the price to be sustained, there needs to be support built at all of these zones. So like this one right here, the 440 zone needs to get built for support. We're going to make it be purple because these are ones that I'm going to see as important zones. And then if we did another one, I would probably look for probably this one. So what is this one? Right here we're looking at these these candles, and this kind of where it bounced and rounded here. So if we do one on those, so kind of another zone that I'd like to see us run into and build some support is this 411, 441. I know everybody is going to be like, well, no, 530 is the goal. It needs to be 530 by the end of the month. And that's the only way we're successful. And I don't see that. And I don't don't really want that. You know, if we're really looking at this project for its longevity and its growth to be sustained, you know, getting more people involved and invested in it that are willing to hold longer. These three purple zones in price, 411, 441, 492, are all zones that would like to see heavy volume and accumulation. This, you know, some steady sideways action. If we go into like a 4-hour candle zone, this is the support that needs to get built. This kind of level. And if we go back to before the FOMO run up, that's a lot of what the price action was. This move throughout the month, while it is boring, is supportive. And if you're wanting to look at when the price is doing this steady grind up, that's when those higher frequency, bigger grid bots will be very successful with the price and accumulation of the coin. I'd like to see, you know, December be one of these months. A nice steady incline throughout, but steady up, smaller moves, no big spike. And then we could see, you know, if we saw this move for December, where it only went up from 270 to, you know, only 10%. If it just moved 10% basically over the month, 275 to 3. And so if we moved from like, and then we had this big, you know, spike at the end of it, you know, this is where you can see a nice big move into January. So if we're going to say from 425, that 10% is to like 475, 485, 465 for December. Say we get into this zone, we'll just do that. We'll just use that as a goal. If we could get into 411 and channel around that by the end of November, beginning of December, build the support around 440, and then the 10% move up by the end of December would be 492. Then the big move can come after that and kind of retest this. You might see a $6-7 move into January, or test of price into January, which is a phenomenal move. I mean, we're less than 2 years old on this project. The price has grown exponentially from being involved. You can see that big spike back in, I think that was February or March, when Bitmart got crazy with its bot. I just want to get this weekly. Each one of these candles represents a week, so it's a longer duration, but that was healthy price action that we're looking for. Let's get that. We're going to just do that. These moves are healthy, and These are where those higher frequency bots are going to be successful. Even a lower grid bot, the bots will be extremely successful getting you an accumulation of coin, and we can see these moves be more sustainable. So we'd really like to see us over 380 here in the next couple days. Would like a test of the 411 by the end of the month, and building some support moving forward. I know it's a much smaller goal than the 745 by end of December and 530 by end of November. It's probably going to break a lot of hearts, but realistically, for the strength of the project going into next year, getting more people investing and getting these exchanges consistent and building, we don't need to have all big moves like this that are unsustainable for the long term. These moves are healthier. So hope everybody's making money. Sorry this was a little bit longer than I originally anticipated, and I got off tangent from the bots only. Bots are fun. Trading is fun. If you have any questions about the market, about how to trade, any kind of strategy that you want me to touch on or show, please feel free to reach out. I did have a couple people reach out and have me kind of go back to the basics on one. And whether it's the simple basic terms from the 101 standpoint, or if it's the more advanced structure and more indicators, if you want to try to get into learning some of these indicators and how to use them. I don't use all of them. I like to keep mine simple and not overcomplicated. But if you want to learn how to use any of them, I will dive in and show you a walkthrough and go through, and or just pick which ones are the best. The best are always going to be personal preference. I like finding trends and channels. I like finding the pivot points for support and resistance. And then I always, like doing the moving averages. When you go into these indicators, you could use the regular basic moving average or the exponential moving average. The EMA, I feel, is a stronger one over the two. And we see, this is the 9-week average price. When this was support the whole way up, this was during the healthy moves up. When we broke away from it too far, it became the magnet and came back down. So when you look at this time zone right here, this 375 on the 9-week average, being right on that support zone here where we bounced, that goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So all the way back to here, when the price was around $2 to here, and then it averaged the 7 plus the 2, and that's how we had this nice average. So this 375 zone, when you start stacking indicators, you look at pivot points, you look at trend lines, and you see the price action bouncing a lot, and the more you use it, it shows how important that zone is for your trading. So as we need to get above it, as we find it coming from the top side down for support, that 375 zone, the more that we look, is very, very important. And that's why the price has been kind of here for a while. If you look at the last couple of weeks and we're like, how did we not break away from it and get above? Well, it's a very important price for this, for the market to digest and build the support around before moving to the next one. And then we'll discover and see the next one in probably in this range. I don't know exactly which one, but somewhere between 411 and 492, we're going to see another important price zone that there's going to be some consolidation before getting over 5. The two had its support built out. 3 is getting its support built out. Next step is 4. And we'll see these gains continue. And I hope everybody is making plenty of money. Whether you're trading, investing, mining, a combination of all of them, I hope everyone's doing well. Look at our volume is picking up as we speak. That's exciting. So might see some action here today. See something going. So hope everyone has a good day. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm not sure if I'll get a video in tomorrow. I will try to. And I hope everyone has a good week. See ya.